Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got it!
New 52 booklet.
Somebody clip this one.
Hey everyone, welcome to Comics League. I'm Jared, and today we're talking about Steve Trevor. Now, the thing about this, so recently in issue 14 of Tom King's Wonder Woman, they killed Steve, and this was a big thing in the marketing. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is why this is a good thing and why maybe he should remain dead. Because here's the thing. I've long said that his usefulness to Diana lasts up until the point she leaves the island and then it's done. Because he's supposed to be like the one that like basically introduces her to man's world and then just goes away. Because here's what people don't understand is that when you look at Steve Trevor's early origin, it wasn't like this big romantic story. First off, he was a raging misogynist. And then when Perez made him good in post-crisis, that was fine. He wasn't dating Diana, though. That's the thing. A lot of people, the people that like Steve Trevor, like him because of that run. He was not with Diana. Then when they went to New 52, they brought back the whole, he dated Diana, and then she left him for Superman. But the problem is they then later made him a stalker that talked behind Diana's back, and I'm like, okay, you a-hole. And kind of a emotional manipulator. Then you get to Rebirth, where they put them back together. Then G. Willow Wilson broke them up in Wonder Woman 79. And the thing about this is that it really didn't help his reasoning for breaking up. So Aphrodite has just died. And Steve goes, basically says, if you were around more, you would know that we've had problems since even before Aphrodite died. So he's like, the last reason to stay is gone. He goes, I'll always care about you, but I can't keep putting so much of myself into this and getting so little back. So I'm like, you selfish, you're a Navy SEAL in this continuity. At least you were. If anyone understands the importance of putting one's personal feelings aside for the sake of a mission or protecting people, it's supposed to be you. So I'm like, that's the worst reason. That's where it really sold Steve Trevor as like a bad person for me. Then you get to the Tom King run where he puts them back together. The problem with it is that Tom King, the way he writes it, he kind of makes it so Diana is like obsessed with Steve. He is her whole world. Like even in issue 14, she goes, I can't go on without you. And I'm like, you were without him for a while, as a matter of fact, ever since issue 79. So what are you talking about? Of course you can. It's really weird. And honestly, at this point, I think it's better off leaving him dead. Because, okay, so they killed him. The Sovereign killed him. Actually, adding on, it's also adding on, if you remember the Absolute Power tie-in for Wonder Woman, they were making out during wholly inappropriate times while they're trying to break people out of prison and like in the middle of battle. And Wonder Woman becomes like basically a trophy for him because she's like deflecting bullets. She gets shot and then he has to cradle her on the ground. And I'm like, okay, this is really forced. So that's the thing in making, because Tom King has said that like one of his purposes in the run was to make people like Steve Trevor. The problem is when the writer expressly tries to make people like a character they hate, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And honestly, I think it would have been better off if he tried to go a little more organic and not forced. But the problem is the thing about it is that Steve serves little to no purpose for Wonder Woman once she leaves the island. That's it. Because ultimately he's just there And what's Steve gonna do against like any of the gods or like Giganta or any of Wonder Woman's rogues? So really, it doesn't work when you look at the fundamentals of Wonder Woman. Being in a relationship with Steve doesn't work. Now, Britt and Jid have said that like he works more as her Lana Lang. In other words, the first relationship, it doesn't work out, but they'll always be friends. And I'm like, okay, I could kind of see how that works out. Problem is, Steve Trevor's too much of a manipulative a-hole for that to work. But the point is, as a concept, I get it. And honestly, the more I look at it, the more I would say, so here's my conclusion for this discussion. The thing about Steve is that ultimately, since he has been like character assassinated for like a really long time, deservedly so, I would say make this death like permanent, at least for the foreseeable future until another reboot. How's that? Make it permanent until you do another reboot. And then what you can do is then you can reevaluate. Because honestly, right now, this current version of Steve is irredeemable. Because what people forget when they talk about how important like Steve was during the Perez run or something like that is that this is not the Perez Steve Trevor. This is the new 52 Rebirth one that everyone hated. So it's, even if they tried to like merge the continuities back together, they can't, because Steve was like an adult. And Steve was like older, more of a father figure in the Perez run. So they can't say that the Perez run happens in this period. So either their continuity is a mess, which honestly is DC. So that's probably what's going on there. Or it's just, that's not the same Steve, which I'm willing to bet that's not the same Steve. So really, ultimately, I say just leave him dead. Leave him dead until the next reboot. We could probably do something worthwhile with him. Maybe not have him with Diana at all. That'll be nice, because he's not, despite what people think, he's not her Lois Lane. He's not. He's clearly not. But anyway, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Let me know below what you guys think of the death of Steve Trevor. It probably won't last. I got to be honest. It probably won't, because it's comics, but how long do you think it should last before they can like maybe reboot and give Steve like a proper characterization instead of this mild stalker? So let me know about that, and let me know what you think. Consider becoming a member, because when you become a member, you get these a day roughly evening early, and then you get access to my members only Discord channel, which the link should be below, and you get access to the members only live streams where we talk about all things comic books once a month. We're starting up a comic book club just for members, and a lot of other fun perks. I can't wait. So in addition to that, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be sure to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.